Mr. Mihan of Dark Truth, and before I get into this video, I would like to apologize for not being able to publish a video last week because the video was ready, but the audio made me mute. For some reason, it did not pick up this mic instead of the new webcam that I just put up, which definitely helps with the visuals, but definitely screwed me over in terms of making said video. And it pissed me off, and I did not have the time to make for that because I was working. So yeah, I'm making this now. So I apologize for that, and if there's anything that you guys suggest about improving my videos whatsoever, please put them down in the comment section down below or directly message me. Now with that out of the way, let's look into the issue of abortion, which has now become a major which, while yeah, it's been a partisan issue for a long time and a political one, it has since ramped up because of May 2nd. Because on May 2nd, Politico obtained a draft majority opinion from the Supreme Court. So far, no one knows who got it, but it's heavily suggested that one of the staff among the Supreme Court did not like the decision of said Supreme Court for this, and decided to leak it to Politico in hopes of maybe trying to influence the court's own mind. This opinion is over Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization. And in the leaked initial draft, which is penned by Justice Samuel Alito, it indicates that the Supreme Court is prepared to overturn Roe versus Wade. Something that I really support. Roe versus Wade is a controversial case because it basically made abortion legal throughout the entire land. It basically made it a federal issue. In terms of overturning Roe versus Wade, it does not necessarily get rid of abortion, although personally I think that there should be severe limits when it comes to abortion, like allowing it in the case of the mother, and I'm on the fence in the current cases of rape and incest. But that's about it. That's personally about it in terms of abortion. But nonetheless, overturning Roe versus Wade does not end abortion. It in fact gives the issue of abortion to the states. Something which I completely agree with, because in the Constitution it never really talked about abortion being something that is in the purview of the federal government. They did use the 14th Amendment, the Due Process Clause, as a means of promoting Roe versus Wade, or at least the majority opinion, which was 77-2 in favor of Jane Roe. But again, the fact is that abortion is not protected under the Constitution, and it says specifically that anything that is not delegated to the federal government, any powers not delegated to the federal government, are given to those of the states. This has basically, I wouldn't say entirely united the left, but it's definitely given them more energy. The reason why I don't say that it's entirely unified is because, well, the Democrats are still in the major civil war. They're in a major tug of war over leadership. People like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and yes, even Joe Biden are fighting against people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Squad, and much of the far left. Just in a desperate power struggle to determine not only the future politics of the Democratic Party, but also its own identity. This issue of abortion is the one that they can easily unify over. But personally, I do not think that this is going to help the Democrats in their favor, because of two things. One is the issue with Joe Biden and how he's basically causing so many problems, from inflation to high spending to higher gas prices, the issue of Afghanistan, I'm not leaving that one out, illegal immigration soaring ever higher. The issue, even the issue with Ukraine, even though that we're not necessarily directly involved with that, and I mean specifically ground troops, there's definitely going to be some major play with that, especially with with anti-war Democrats and pro-war Democrats. Although from what I've been seeing, there's barely any anti-war Democrats at all. Wouldn't be surprised that if the Ukraine war does become a major issue, it's actually going to be the reverse this time, compared to say Afghanistan or Iraq, when the Democrats were anti-war and the Republicans were pro-war. Maybe that it will be flipped. Republicans be anti-war, and yeah, you get my points. But so I do not think that this one issue, while it will definitely invigorate some of the voters, here's the problem. Many of those same people are already on the side of the Democrats. But at the same time, with how the Democratic leadership is handling the situation, it's not necessarily too much of it's not necessarily raising the morale of Democrats everywhere to convince them that, hey, let's support the Democratic Party leadership. Let's support the establishment. Let's support, or maybe even better, let's support people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This, just because one issue unifies the entire Democratic Party, does not mean that they will forget the other issues within the party itself. The next problem is that this may actually offer something similar to that of Newton's third law. And I know that Newton's third law is based upon physics, but in regards to abortion, I say that this may kind of have some kind of legitimacy behind it. Here's what I mean. Much like how there are going to be many Democratic voters energized over this issue, there will be many conservatives who are very vocal, very prominent about this, who honestly have been having problems of their own in terms of dealing with the Republican leadership right now, to now come out and vote in favor of the Republicans. So there's that just equalizing pressure. Already we're seeing this with how a lot of people, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, being so vocal in their activism to the point where that a lot of these rallies are being held outside of justices' homes, or even Nancy Pelosi's homes. Don't worry, I will get to those pretty soon, but it goes to show that this is a very hot-button topic. If the Democrats are going to have something similar in terms of energizing some of their base over this issue, the same thing is going to happen to the Republicans, who are also very adamant over this issue. So, in regards to that, there is no way that this is going to have any impact in the 2022 midterms. What I will say, though, is that this will definitely cause major partisan lines among the states. With the overturning of Roe v. Wade, this will basically mean that a lot of the states, like say maybe Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Alabama, a lot of other states, would basically say, ban abortion. Maybe with a few exceptions here and there, but basically ban abortion. While in states like, say, in Washington, unfortunately, the state that I live here, or California, New York, the region of New England, they're basically going to be pro-abortion. They're going to keep those laws in place. And this is just going to set up that these are solidified red and blue states. Just at least and the issue of abortion is just going to be the major building block of that. You think that America is divided now? This may actually cause it to be pretty more divided. Although to be fair, it's just abortion is such a major topic nowadays. Now, in regards to that, in regards to that, the bigger issue is not Roe versus Wade, or even the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Don't get me wrong, it's an important issue, but it's not as important as the leaked draft itself. 245 years. This nation, the Supreme Court, has been around for 245 years. Every time, even during the Civil War, the Supreme Court was allowed this judicial privilege to go back to debate amongst themselves about the merits of specific sides of the argument of any case. And once they're finished, they come out at a specific time to issue the results of said decision. Even when America was at its arguably most divided point yet, the American Civil War, there was nothing like a leaked draft opinion that was sent out to any other newspaper, whether it be for the North or the South. In major controversial case like Dred Scott v. Sanford, there was none of that. This leaked draft is the first that has ever happened. The problem with this is the cat's out of the bag. This was deliberately meant to try to influence the court in some way over this decision of Roe versus Wade. And honestly, I'm honestly not surprised, because this has actually happened at least in lower court cases as well. I can easily look at Derek Chauvin as well as Kyle Rittenhouse. How the mob, how major politicians, and even media news outlets tried to do anything in their power, even doxing the jurors and following them around and being intimidating to them to try to influence the outcome. That worked in the case of Derek Chauvin. That fortunately did not work in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse. And now it's going up with the Supreme Court. Because now we already have pro-choice rallies outside of justices, basically as a means to intimidate these judges to reverse their decision about overturning Roe versus Wade. Even many Democrats like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden have actually, despite the fact that this isn't a final decision yet, have criticized the Supreme Court for this and are trying to tell them, do not do this. The cat's out of the bag. You think that this is going to be the only time that this will happen? No, absolutely not. This will not be the only time. It's going to happen to other cases. It could even happen to constitutional carry cases. Something which I hope to God does not happen. Because despite the fact that the Supreme Court has had some political issues with it, there's always been a conservative wing and liberal wing. Despite all of that, there was a sense that they have some judicial privilege and they cannot be touched. This is the end of that. At least the end of that as a tradition. Now, I think it needs to be codified into law. Already, the Senate has actually passed protections, or passed a bill that gives protections to the Supreme Court justice and their families. But they need to go further. They need to make it illegal for any leaks to come from the Supreme Court to occur again. That way, it makes sure that the Supreme Court will not be influenced by outside forces. This is going to happen. This is already out of the bag. And it kind of scares me. This is just one case. There will be another case, and there will be another case, and there will be another case, and another case. And they could have the same potential influence by some begrudging staff member deciding to take the law into his own hands and then sending it off to the mainstream media like Politico to just influence them in their own way. Try to dox them. Do whatever possible. do whatever possible, even to the point where it's near to the point of illegal. That's what really worries me at this point. Which is why I think we should petition Congress to not only ensure the security of these judges, we need to make sure that the institution of the Supreme Court remains unaffected by this. We need to make sure that these kinds of leaks are illegal. We need to make sure that anyone, whoever tries this, is found out, is charged accordingly, and is sent to jail as a means of as incentivizing, preventing other people from doing the exact same thing. It was a tradition not to do this, but now that tradition is broken. We need to do something about this, or else now the Supreme Court now the Supreme Court can easily be influenced by outside parties, can be influenced by a raging mob. My name is Noah and on the Art of Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I speak, or any ideas of improving my videos, please post it down in the comment section down below, or directly message me. Thank you.
Almost head.